Joining me now is our good friend Dave Aronberg, state attorney for Palm Beach County and Democratic former member of the Florida State Senate. Welcome, Dave. What's your reaction to this reporting, especially going back and trying to prove his big lie about the 2020 election, and then the response from the Trump camp to this report?
Alex, good to be back with you. It's obviously troubling. This is not why people voted Trump in. It was to reduce high prices. It was to close the border. It wasn't to weaponize the Department of Justice. In fact, he ran against the weaponization of the Department of Justice. But as with everything, it's always a projection or an admission with these guys. So I do take solace, though, knowing that Pam Bondi is going to be the attorney general and not Matt Gaetz. Had Matt Gaetz been confirmed, I do think he would have torn the place down. He would have gone after Trump's enemies, regardless of whether there was evidence or not. Pam Bondi, though, I know her. She does believe in the rule of law.
So give me a sense of that, because when she was Florida's AG, I know that she made you drug czar. You were focusing on combating the opioid epidemic. Give me a sense of what she's like, what you can tell us about her, the kind of loyalty she has for Trump. And will that extend, do you think, to going after his political enemies as he wishes? Remember, he's the one who's putting her up for the post. So she's got to have a certain level of loyalty to get that support.
She is very loyal to Donald Trump, and it's a real loyalty and love for Donald Trump, unlike some of the others like Lindsey Graham and Kevin McCarthy, who pretend to love him to his face and on Fox News, but then behind his back make fun of him. Pam Bondi is a true believer. But let me tell you that she's someone who is also likable, who gets along well with people, who has friends on both sides of the aisle. I ran against her for attorney general. Well, actually, I lost in the Democratic primary, but after she won the general election, despite the fact that I had endorsed her opponent, the Democrat who had beaten me, she named me her drug czar because she knew that I was going to tackle the opioid crisis if I were elected attorney general, and she wanted me on her team, despite the fact the Republicans were going after her for that. So that says a lot about her. Now, she is loyal to Donald Trump. I expect her to launch these John Durham-style investigations that will hopefully go nowhere, because that's what happened with John Durham. But if they overreach and if they go after like Adam Schiff or Liz Cheney, then it's going to backfire against them, and it's going to create martyrs of them both, making them both instant presidential candidates. Look what it did for Donald Trump sitting in a courtroom in New York. It seemed to help him. They don't want to go down this road themselves.
So Representative Jamie Raskin spoke about his concerns about Bondi and did so with my colleague Alex Wagner. Take a listen to this.
She'll be the key transmission belt between Donald Trump's orders and then making the bureaucracy move. And that, of course, is what everybody at the Department of Justice is so afraid of, that there'll be this wholesale abandonment of the law and the Constitution, and it will basically become like the Donald Trump law firm.
Is the institution of the DOJ strong enough to resist attempts to weaponize it?
I think so, because you have career prosecutors who will follow the evidence and the law. Now, John Durham did some of this stuff. He was able to file charges, low-level charges, really against mid to low-level officials, and it blew up in his face. He was humiliated. Do they want to go down that road again? I do think they have enough career prosecutors who will just do things based on the evidence and the law. There will be investigations, but I am not as pessimistic as Congressman Raskin that they're going to burn the whole place down, because I know Pam Bondi, and I really do think that she's still tethered to the rule of law. Yes, she will be directed to do things that a lot of us don't like, but I think in the end, she's going to continue to follow evidence and the law before making indictments, before making charges.
Okay, last question. I'm going to need a quick answer because I still want to ask it. When it comes to Trump's own legal trouble, the sentencing in his hush money trial, in which he was convicted of 34 felony counts, it's been delayed. The court's considering whether to dismiss this case completely because of presidential immunity. Do you think he's going to get off scot-free in these cases?
Well, let's do this interview again, Alex, in January of 2029, because I think that's when the court will reconvene. And by then, who knows where we'll be living.
It'll be delayed.
Right. I think it'll be delayed significantly. I do not think it goes away entirely.
Okay. Wow, you did it in 15 seconds. I love you. Thank you so much, Dave Aronberg. We'll see you soon.